Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read-through for Kubera Season 3 episodes 37 to 39, which would be the second quarter of Twisted Bird, so Stinky Bird Part 2, or Parts 4 through 6 really. I am excited to read. Kubera Season 3 has been great so far. I think we started off, we were building up, and we quickly hit a point where before we were even 20 chapters in, I was like, okay, I am in. I love this stuff. I think it's really, really, really good. And one thing that was kind of the biggest thing last time was that Brillith has now awakened to her past life memories. And every time she does that, she turns on Agni, says, I don't want to be with you anymore, because now she has all of these past life memories and emotions and feelings, and Agni loses her. And I said last time that I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'll need to sit with it more. The idea of reincarnation in Kubera, and I think that that's still kind of true in a certain way, where it all depends on how it's written in the future. Like, if reincarnation in the future is written really well, then it was worth it. It was good. It was a good addition to the series, and if it isn't written well in the future, then it wasn't. So I just need to wait and keep reading the series and see if it turns out to be a good addition or not to the world of Kubera. Because you could say that one worry would be, okay, well, if everybody's reincarnated or something, then the gods and the Shuras live so long that everybody is just people they've basically met before. But I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. That's probably not going to be exactly how reincarnation works or anything. So that's one of those things you just have to wait and see. As for Brillith herself, I think that it's good and bad, but when I say bad, I don't necessarily mean bad writing, but really just bad things happening to the characters. Like, I would say the two bad things with that are that, the old Brillith is dead, basically. Not like literally dead, but basically dead. The old Brillith doesn't come back. The new Brillith, like, I guess don't spoil me if she does somehow, but what I mean is once you awaken to those memories and feelings and everything, the old Brillith is gone. The Brillith that we knew, that we've read so far, she isn't the same person anymore. The old Brillith is dead, because now this person who has been reincarnated through many lives and met Agni through those many lives, that's who Brillith is now. Brillith isn't the same Brillith from before. She is a combination of Brillith and also all these other people from the past. So old Brillith is dead, and now we have the new Brillith. And the other bad thing is what it does to Brillith and Agni's relationship. Because somebody was like, this makes it seem so much less creepy. No, it does. It makes it so much more creepy. What are you talking about? So before, it was kind of nice and sweet in the sense that he could have met Brillith, turned into like a same age as her version of him, and just grown up with her. And through the act of growing up with her, they could have each spontaneously fallen for one another. And it was a spontaneous new thing for both of them. But now, if he knew that this was her, and it seems like he did, but if he knew that it was her, then he specifically went to this human out of all the humans in the universe, to this human when she was a kid, and didn't like really groom her, but basically groomed her to not awaken her memories, or hopefully not awaken her memories, or else she would leave him once again. So it makes the relationship so much more creepy and worse. And again, both of those are bad things in terms of those are bad things happening to Brillith, but not necessarily bad writing-wise, because it adds to the drama. And I think that's where we get into the good aspects of this writing-wise, are that it adds into the drama between the humans and gods and gives us these ideas of like, okay, the humans have been dealing with all this shit from the gods, and there's nothing they can do. They get abused by the gods, abused by the Shura, and they're just humans. There's not much they can do. So what do humans do to defy them, or to stand up to them, or to resist them in any way? And everything that, again, Awakened Brillith was saying, I don't know what to say other than Awakened Brillith right now, but everything that Awakened Brillith was saying about Chandra and about Agni was true. She was telling the truth. And it's good because I've been saying for a bit now, okay, what if the idea here is that we have the Taraka, which is a threat so great to the universe that it forces the humans and the gods and the Shura to have to put aside their differences in order to deal with the threat of the Shura, or deal with the threat of the Taraka Shura specifically, I mean. They put aside their differences, deal with the Taraka Shura, and it lets the humans, gods, and Shura see each other in a different, better light. It makes their relationships better. It brings everybody together, or else the universe is destroyed, which Kali could potentially want. She could potentially want to bring everybody together, or the universe is destroyed, because everybody thinks that she just wants the universe destroyed, but there could be even more meaning behind that. And to do so with just, oh, there's this big enemy, let's all team up, that's kind of easy. But we're seeing, we know that humans and Shura and the gods and Shura have this history, but now also between humans and gods, we're getting more into this history that they have and how it's not going to be as easy as everybody just holds hands and works together. People are going to have to work through some really serious trauma and some really serious thousands, even maybe millions of year old beef with one another. They're going to have to work through all of these issues if they want to deal with the Taraka, who again are a bigger threat than any of them can handle on their own, it would seem. So I think that the idea of Brillith being reincarnated, again, it has the bads, it has the downsides, which are, old Brillith is dead, which is like, damn, that's such a quick, unceremonious, she's gone forever, and we're not getting her back because now we have awakened Brillith. And her relationship with Agni is made so much worse. But again, I say those are bad things, but not necessarily writing-wise, because while I think it makes her relationship with Agni worse now, it being a worse, more toxic relationship adds to the drama of the writing. So that's where I am after, a week of thinking about Kubera and all. But either way, let's continue. Season 3, Episode 37. We have Brillith and the Taraka Shura. The huge attack we ended with last time. He knows I won't survive, but he's not coming after me. If I want to live, there's nothing he won't do. If I want to live, there's nothing he won't do to come to my rescue. But if I want to die, he lets me. That's how he's always been. His lingering feelings for me are as old as the universe itself, but he does not obsess about each individual life. If I do not care to live, he feels he has no reason to save me. Again, it makes the relationship so much worse that he's like, oh, well, if she reincarnates and gets her memories back about me, then I'll just let her die, and I'll hope she doesn't get the memories back next time. I'll try to make it so she doesn't get the memories back next time. He doesn't care about Brillith as an individual. He doesn't care about each individual life. He cares about the soul that keeps reincarnating. Idiot. And again, it's why he's Idiot Smith. It's why he's Bubble Kim. Then Agni's woman is on the threshold of the underworld, and this is Brahma. I know. And probably Yama? Agni hasn't come after her this time. She must have said she wanted to die or told him not to follow. He does what he's told. Does what he's told. For the most powerful god in the realm, he's pretty spineless. It's a shame. If he had some pride to go with his abilities, he'd be totally charismatic. It's not a question of pride. It's because he's an idiot. Every time that woman wakes up, he becomes an oblivious fool. He might not be able to use insight on her, but why doesn't he see what's so obvious? And the gum pops on her face. Don't get so excited. I know it was for the sake of the universe, but you two have dragged too much baggage with you. When Agni comes back, go with him to the top and let go of as much as I have. Then your mind will be at peace, whatever's happening in the world. If you're not going to help me properly, please don't talk to me. I'm busy enough dealing with all the people that are dying. So, definitely Yama. Again, I couldn't remember if his hair was darker than that or not. Yes, but I was assuming. That's right. Vayu's back from aiding the Kinata clan, and he asked what planet needs urgent help in the human. I just told you not to talk to me. Okay, so we do have gods teaming up or helping out with Shura then. And is it because they're the same element, maybe? Because Vayu is wind. Is Kinata also wind? I guess they're both wind. Yeah, because Yaksha is... Yaksha's light? So Kinata's wind, Yaksha's light, Vritra's fire, sky is Garuda, water is Gandharva, and then there's three more. There's Ashura, which is darkness, earth is Ananta, and then I'm forgetting one off the top of my head, right? Oh yeah, chaos is Taraka. Okay. I just told you not to talk to me. Okay. So it is because they're the same element then. Maybe that's why they team up or get along or something like that. And these two are two of the four that, well, I guess they're the only two of the four left that don't have corresponding Shura clans, since the original other two are gone and have been replaced. These are the only other original two that don't have Shura counterparts. And now, the first time I recovered my memories of the beginning, my recent memories seemed more vivid than my past, and I saw my present life as my real self. The second time I recovered my memories, I still thought of my past lives as if they belonged to to other people. I was the real one. But as I lived each new life, as my existence wore on, the memories from my present life took up less and less of the whole. After hundreds of millions of years, when the memories from countless lives had formed a blood-red river, the present me became a glass of water poured into that river, lost in its current. And perhaps you, having lived since the beginning without ever forgetting, saw me in the same way. When I don't have my memories, I live out my life thinking it's the only one I have. But in your eyes, it's only ever one life of many. My appearance, my abilities, even my attributes change. And you, who loved each life unconditionally, what part of me did you love? Can it be called love at all? Do all gods love in such a way? I don't understand you, but then nor do I understand myself. Every time I lose my memories and meet you again, I fall for you in just the same way. Sometimes even during a chance encounter. At the kindness you show me, without even knowing who I am, always unfailingly, I fall head over heels for you. So, well, he wouldn't... I don't know. He can't read the awakened with insight, but before awakening, he can read the person. So does he really not know? And again, if he really doesn't know, then it's not like, then it's tough. Because on the one hand, it's not like he could just read Brillith through insight to tell that Brillith was the reincarnated lover. But on the other hand, if he starts to fall in love with this person, is he like, okay, I've been through this hundreds of times before, I know who you are. It's tough. Just like the first time when I knew nothing, I'm swept away by this new experience called love, spending nights wide awake out of excitement, picturing a happy future together with you. A happy future. There is no such future waiting after I realized the truth. Ironically, all those eyes were the most happy while they were able to dream. Throughout all those insignificant lives, buried in the vast river of memories, in each of those rare moments of happiness, you were always there, Agni. If I lose everything once more and return to being me, I'll forget my resentment toward the gods. If the universe is infinite, and you are immortal, we will meet again one day, and I will love you again. So please, just once. And we have people calling for Brillith. Priestess, wake up. Thank God. Are you okay? And we have Lee's back. The Kuberi's thrown in our face. Jeez. Why did you enter a place like this without Agni? You're still a bit out of it. Then, Mr. Cossack, we can get to the city fairly quickly, right? The exit's visible. We're not far off. Right, then we'll head to the city as fast as possible. Stay close to me, priestess. Attacks might come from any direction. Leave me here. Huh? The universe is infinite. He's immortal. And I can start again. Is she going to have to get over her resentment of the gods in order to, again, if you were to just get over that and accept your love for Agni, then you could fall in love with him each new time, and every time you awaken, instead of having to turn on him, instead of losing things, it's like, okay, I can just spend like you planned your future together, you can have an eternity together. It's just that in your eternity, you'll be reborn over and over, which is interesting. How do we get people that end up as reincarnated souls instead of going, like, we've been told that heaven and hell are places. So what decides whether you go to heaven, whether you go to hell, or whether you become a reincarnator? What are you talking about? It's okay. Even if you can't save me here, it's not your fault. It's what I wanted, so leave me and... No, what do you mean the universe is infinite? Do you see those monsters? They're only the beginning. The universe is about to be destroyed. That is true. And this, again, the drama leading everybody to work together. The universe isn't really infinite. Like, we know that everything started from, like, the early first few gods and the early first few Gnostica. And if everything just started from those first few and populated out from there, they can't have populated forever. So there's always a current limit, even if you can exceed that limit. But now, time-wise, it's not unlimited. Like, what's left for you if it's destroyed? Like, if your plan is to be reincarnated again and again, then what do you do if you don't get reincarnated because there's nothing left to be reincarnated into? To be continued. Okay, again, I mentioned before, I think the bads or the negatives for the reincarnation stuff, I don't mind so far. Just because it's not really bad writing-wise. It's just, okay, bad things happened to Brillith. And I really love what this chapter did for Brillith and everything. But moving past that, we have the ideas that heaven and hell already exist, so it's not like everybody's getting reincarnated. So I feel like the idea of reincarnation in the world of Kubera isn't bad, and it's not being handled bad. And again, I think that this hurts her relationship with Agni, like, in canon, but when it comes to as a reader, I think the writing is good because it adds so much more drama and depth. And the same thing goes for Brillith's character. The old Brillith is dead, which is sad because she just went and died, but this is still Brillith, just overwhelmed by every other past life. This is a new Brillith. This is essentially a new character compared to the previous Brillith, even though, like I said at the very beginning, it obviously still is Brillith, but the way that it was illustrated is so good, and it adds, again, so much more depth to the character, and I love the way that it conflicts with the gods. I love that part of things. But I love the way it was presented of, like, at first, if you get memories of a past life, it's like, oh, I had 2 past lives. I remember those past lives. But you're still you. But after you go through hundreds of millions of years, if you get memories from past lives, there's just so many that it's like, okay, well, that makes it seem like the me that I currently am is like a week compared to a normal lifespan. It's like, okay, I've only been this person for like a week. So it eventually gets to the point where your memories of your current life are just so small in comparison to the whole that you end up like this. And I love the way that that was presented. It was really, really cool. So with all that aside, let's go check out the Afterword this week. Starting off with the link, we have, I thought it was a roll of toilet paper. Okay. Hirayama and Brahma, making an appearance after a long time. Brahma's sitting here to lend a hand, but... And now we have past lives, people who seem to have almost nothing in common. In order, the professions are quarter, fighter, pureblood, slave, and pureblood mage. Win double. Wilrarv has never had a system of pureblood slavery. All three are from different planets. Two of them no longer exist. The one remaining planet merely exists, but it's in a state where humans cannot live. We see Agni dislikes making eye contact. There were many people asking if Brillith was dead, or if her personality wouldn't return, etc. Well, the character you're seeing right now is Brillith. She's alive. It's indeed Brillith's own personality. She simply regained her old memories. Of course she retains all the memories of her life as Brillith. She knows about that snowball fight scene because she is Brillith. Then Cossack bed, it is soft. Lise has a pretty good eye for people, just as she immediately recognized Babo Kim was Agni. Even though Brillith has grown a lot, aged, and completely changed her outfit over the past 7 years, she still recognizes her. Since episode 1 of part 3, many people have asked to see at least a little of Lisa's recent whereabouts, but as you can see from Lisa's perspective, episode 1 of part 3 leads directly into episode 37 of part 3, so there isn't really anything to show in between. Then typo has been corrected, and we have 363 empathy. Either way, really great chapter. I like what's being done with Brillith's character a lot. I think that we got some good stuff in season 1, and then she was kind of in the background for the rest of season 1 and then pretty much all of season 2, but now she's back in the foreground again, and like I said, with the old Brillith kind of gone and we have a new Brillith here, I think that though it's a tragedy, it makes the ideas we move forward with more exciting, because the idea of a human falling in love with a god is like an interesting thing that they were going with, but I think it becomes even more deep here, knowing like, okay, she'll always be reincarnated, then her new self will fall for him, then eventually she'll get memories back, but she has a beef against the gods, so I think that just deepens the conflict with her falling in love with Agni. And like I said, I think that the idea here is that she needs to work through her issues with the gods in order to accept their love. But also that requires Agni to, notice the opposite, stop being Idiot Smith, stop being Babo Kim. Really, really good. I think that's more exciting than the conflict in their relationship before. I think this conflict is deeper. So either way, with that aside, let's read the next part. So far, I'm kind of feeling like we could have stuck with the value of a life title, or like had a different title related to, Brillith and Agni's relationship, or the reincarnation stuff, because so far, we haven't seen the bird being too twisted yet. So, we're at Twisted Bird Part 5. We have, do you see those monsters? They're only the beginning. This universe is about to be destroyed. The universe? You don't mean this planet or galaxy? I don't. More than half of the... That's crazy. More than half of the Shura realm has been destroyed already. The Garuda clan's been annihilated. Among the Gandharvas and Anantas, only those that have fled to the Ashura clan have survived. There are still Gnostikas in the Ashura clan, but they've suffered heavy casualties from the Rakshasa level downward. Okay, so the Ashura are almost just Gnostikas left. Other than the Gnostikas, the weaker ones have been taken out. There are only remnants left of the Gandharva and Ananta that are surviving with them. Garuda's already gone. I guess the last-ditch effort of the Garuda clan was to leave behind the item with Marana, in the hopes that he could keep them alive, maybe. The Yakshas and Kinnadas, who formed an emergency alliance with the gods, are doing better than most, but I heard a few of their Gnostikas were killed as well. Okay, so Yakshas and Kinnadas are working with the gods already. And the Vritra clan? Wait, the gods made an alliance with the Shuras? Yes, the situation is that serious, and those monsters present a threat to all the races in the universe. Their existence alone is a disaster for the universe. Let's ask them to be remade before they cause any more problems. But what about the ones that already exist? Well, of course. Okay. Twisted Bird Part 5. So, who is this talking then, I wonder? It seems like it's something that Brillith is remembering. Okay, Part 5. That reminds me of the past. Something similar happened once. The gods and jurors combined their strength to drive out a common enemy. Really? I've been trying to learn as much as possible from Yuta and Mr. Cossack, but it looks like I still have a lot of history to cover. No, not even a historian would know of this. This enemy species went extinct billions of years ago, and all related records have disappeared. I see. Well, we can talk about things like that later. For now, Priestess, would you help us? How can I help? This portal's going to close soon, but before it closes completely, the Shuras that were pursuing us could get through, and you want me to stop them. Yes, of course Mr. Cossack will take care of most of them, but if you have any remaining vigor, you could use Hotiagni, Bhavati Agni. And she wipes them all out. Even Lisa's shocked. Looks like there's no need for me to step in. They come flying out through the portal. Look, isn't that Mr. Cossack? And they need to be the messengers to tell all of the humans now? What, Mr. Cossack? The one that went missing during the battle 7 years ago. And are the turrets coming back at the worst time? Or something? Sierra, get to the barrier stone. Huh? The turrets haven't been working this whole time, but now they come back to respond to Cossack's presence? And Lisa's having to defend? I thought you said the turrets do practically nothing, Mr. Cossack. What's happened? These aren't the turrets I'm used to. A god must have taken over the barrier and the turrets because of the large size of the portal. Thank gods it's stopped now. I think they must have seen you, Mr. Cossack. That gave me a fright. The turrets wouldn't work against any of those Shuras, so why did they suddenly attack Mr. Cossack? Maybe... Wow, that makes... I even kind of got goosebumps a little realizing. Are the Taraka immune to the turrets? Which makes them even more dangerous, because even the defenses for the Shura that have been set up by the humans might not work. And I don't remember how things went with Yuta, but maybe, I don't remember, could Yuta just walk through the barriers or anything? Because if he could, then does that mean that Taraka could also just walk through the barriers? It's good that you thought to stop the turrets. Otherwise, Cossack would probably have taken a hit before we arrived. Chandra, Agni, the turrets were normal after all, which means the Tarakas must have developed a resistance. Okay, it's Chandra speaking. What exactly are they evolving into? Don't tell me the barriers will be useless against them one day as well. They've been devouring other Shura, but if they devoured humans or gods, would they... If they devoured humans or gods, would that make them develop a resistance? Anyway, you look fine. And I guess they do partially come from a god, and maybe with Yuta as their leader, that could, play a part. Anyway, you look fine, which means Cossack must have brought Brillith out with him. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, since she's the best summoner you have at this point, and whatever else. Hey, say something. Why are you so quiet? And they were cut off when speaking about the Vritra, but they never mentioned the Gandharva. Could they have info for him? Did you see that just now? Mr. Cossack came out of the portal, and then it disappeared. It must have been a gate that the Taraka clan used to cross over, right? And Chandra must have killed all of them. So, again, I need everybody to gather together because I need everyone to get this kind of information. Because if we're all going to be on different pages, that's going to be rough. A god who fights with transcendentals, isn't that strong inside the chaos barrier? Then magicians must have used magic and Chandra must have amplified the effects. Human magical calculations would have also been disrupted by the barrier. Although magicians skilled in silent magic can direct the path of their magic even after the spell is in effect. I know. There was a magician I knew who could manipulate where her lightning spell struck. She used her magic here like the chaos barrier didn't... Wait, That's strange. What's strange? That magician was arrested for killing dozens of people, and she escaped and did something really terrible. But for some reason, I haven't thought of her for the last 7 years. Not just me, everybody else. And the investigation just fizzled out, I think. Let's get into the city and, talking to Mr. Cossack and the gods might help work it out. Yes. Don't carry me and run this time. I'm not letting anyone see me like that. By the way, how are you so close with the gods when you're a Rakshasa? We're not close, right? Sorry for jumping to conclusions. And Sagara, presumably from the hair, is listening in on them for information on what happened. And again, I'm wondering from the perspective of like Sagara and Asha and potentially God Kubera, maybe. I'm wondering what their perspective was like. Did they just blink out and blink back in from their perspective and just 7 years immediately passed in a flash? I'm wondering. Or have they existed just unable to interact with anything in like the ether or whatever? Very cool though. Very good chapter again. Like I said, the big thing for me right now is just I need everybody together. I need everybody to be getting some information and to be sharing the different, because like all of them know different things right now. I need them to share the different things they know, because if everybody's on different pages, it's just going to be really messy. So with that aside, let's see what's in the afterword. We have the link starting us off, and then Walking History Book. Just because Brillith hates gods doesn't mean she likes Shuras. Think about how she tried to kill Marina. It was practically a kill immediately, no questions asked attitude. How many years do you think Brillith has spent practicing this magic in her memory? Then the protagonist, who somehow just became a tank. The mage next to the protagonist is too strong to be a damage dealer. I wonder if there was no one to teach them magic for the past 7 years. Then adjusting voice volume appropriately according to the conversation mood. Someone asked why that item's a hit product based solely on its waterproofing and voice output. Do you remember the item Mirha brought out during the Air Plateau meeting in Part 2? That was the old model, and this is the new one. Voice output's just one of the many features. This is the last update of 2017. We look forward to your continued support in 2018. On the one hand, of course, that seems incredibly forever ago, since that's still over 8 years for me at this point. But if anything, I feel like, wow, we've moved that much. We're that caught up. But Empathy 426. Really, really good chapter again. So I guess let's start off 2018 with Part 6. Season 3, Episode 39. Start off with Cossack. Wow, it's Mr. Cossack. Sure as we're just coming through that portal. Does that mean the Shura realm is where Mr. Cossack was all along? And we've got Clary, Par, Elwyn, and Teo. Someone's getting off at Brillith. And wait, isn't that the Sword of Return? Then she must be the girl who went missing with the sword 7 years ago. Lise Hyas. And then Twisted Bird Part 6. Half-family registration. Half-family registration begins in the first month of N23. Protect your loved ones from acts of hate crime. Killing an entry-sponsored half is property damage, but killing a half registered as family is murder. Oh, okay. That is interesting. So if half is considered a family, this must be a new law then, maybe? If a half is considered somebody's family, then they have more rights than if they're just a half that's being sponsored by somebody. Registration status is also valid outside cities, allowing legal action against crimes such as kidnapping. Sponsoring the entry of a registered half without prior permission from a family representative will alert authorities of possible kidnapping. Alright, Shess, are you registered as Ogwin's family by any chance? It's fine if she was only sponsoring you for entry, but if you're registered to her, I can't sponsor you for entry straight away. There are procedures. What? Oh, that wind just came out of nowhere. Did someone use magic? Wait here. Something's come up. Huh? What? What's the hurry? He could have written another line to explain while he was at it. Huh? Mr. Ransairafe, what are you doing outside at a time like this? Come in. I guess was that Sagara making contact with him, because if she used Shura speech, then Ron wouldn't have been able to hear. Yes, but there's someone I'm meant to be sponsoring and he just disappeared. And now we're seeing the temple. Brillith, you've come back safely. Yes, I'm back. Thank you for worrying about me, Lila. I'm glad you're safe. They said you disappeared right after you woke up and went all the way to Calibloom. It gave me a fright. That's right. It wasn't me that you saw in your dreams. Claude used Bhavati Yama without telling me. I see. Do you remember how you woke up? What did Claude do at the end of your dream? And she remembers getting zapped by Asha. I'm sorry, I'll avenge him. I promise. Brillith. Agni. I'm back. You're happy to see me, right? We need to talk. Talk? Yes, why not? Mr. Sierra, please show us to a meeting room. Agni wishes to speak to us. Chandra should be there, and all the priests, plus Miss Lees and Mr. Cossack. That'll do for now, I think. We don't know what we'll be discussing, so we'll need to restrict access to the chamber. We can decide what's appropriate to share with the public later. Go down and ask Teo and Mr. Cossack to come up here, says Sierra. Yes. I don't know if I'm imagining things, but Brillith seems kind of different. Maybe it's because I haven't seen her for almost a year. Man, if Kaz and Marina were around, that could have been really bad or really helpful. Because Lee's probably wants to kill him, obviously. But also, there's a lot of other things going on with the two of them that I feel like sharing info. Of course, Lee's and Kaz could have reunited, but I feel like Lee's and Marina sharing info with each other, even though they probably hate and want to kill each other, or at least Marina probably doesn't even care that much, but if it wasn't for her wanting to kill him, they could be very helpful to one another. But also, I think we need Gintarva in here. Agni should probably bring that up. Then Brillith seems kind of different. Maybe it's because I haven't seen her for almost a year. You're not imagining things. I saw her recently, and she's definitely changed. Something must have happened, or something must have been badly twisted during that dream tracking. And now, we're seeing what happened to Kaz and Marina. How irritating. I can't talk, and that human isn't talking. He's been like that since the attack almost hit him. Again, is it because he was defended like that? The attack was definitely meant for me. Is he upset that he was nearly caught up in it? And it's the opposite. Even though Marina was doing so for his own benefits, Kaz is probably thinking, I wanted revenge on this guy for the Red Sky stuff in the village, but he protected me. So he's probably conflicted because of that. Why should he be? If there's someone better than him already, they can't afford to lose him. He shouldn't be surprised at being discarded. For someone who was acting so tough earlier, he's pretty soft. And now that he's been cut off from the others inside the city, it may be easier than I thought to get him to cooperate, if I give him some sympathy. Marina? Shess? Why are you here? Don't tell me you have something to do with what just happened to Calibloom. What are you talking about? Why would I have any interest in Calibloom now? And why are you... you saw me and came after us to rescue the human? He did mention you earlier, as a superior Shura here in the human realm. If he knows what you are, I suppose you two must know each other. But I can't let you just take him. I need him, sir, so that I... Okay. Sorry, I was just going back through what they said. I forgot. You're a 4th stage Rakshasa too, Shess. You can use the Eye of Perishment to develop. I've decided I don't want to be betrayed right after I've helped someone to develop. So I'm going to help the Rakshasa who uses the Eye of Perishment to wish for my happiness. Wish a human happiness. I could pretend to do it easily enough. But didn't the wish need to be sincere in order for the item to work? To be content... man, that's not enough. Oh, that hurts. I don't have enough time to do more today, though. I don't think. I kind of want to do one more. But I only have 2 hours to edit this and do all this other stuff. And make the thumbnail and everything. If I don't want it to be up super late. So I'll have to end here. I was planning to only do 3. I'm going to really be waiting for next week's, though. That's rough. Okay, well, before we end, let's go check out the Afterword. It starts with the link. There are too many onlookers. I'm writing this in advance in case there are questions about how Mr. Cossack passed through the Earth barrier. You see Teo and Elwyn standing in front of Mr. Cossack, right? We're in front of the upper checkpoint. We're outside the Earth barrier. How tall is Lise? Lise was already 17 years old in part 2. If you ask is it possible for a woman to grow that much taller after the age of 17, it might be difficult on Earth. However, in the world of Kubera, the physical growth period lasts from 16 to 20 years old, 32 to 40 for quarter Kubera, and 64 to 80 for half Kubera. Then, while some stop growing around age 16, others continue to grow until age 20. Not only Lise, but Ron also grew taller during that time. Then we have Agni's one-to-one conversation has been changed to a group chat. And we have the emoji and all. If you were Kaz, from Kaz's perspective right now, there's no compelling reason for him to necessarily grow Marina. If you were Kaz, what would you do? And we see empathy 341. So next time, I am really excited to see the continued conversations between Kaz, Marina, and Chess, which we aren't necessarily guaranteed to get. And because we had the wind and Chess went off, is it just because he sensed Marina? I'm wondering what the whole deal is there, or what Sagata is going to do here. We're going to have the big meeting. Again, I want information to be exchanged. I want to know more about what's going on with Gandharva too. I feel like him getting this information could be important and lead to more stuff, especially with him and Agni. Of course, Sierra wouldn't like that, but he and Agni's relationship, I think, is really cool, and I want to see what happens if they get more on the same page, because this is the early stages of the humans here, the gods here, and potentially the Shura here, if we could get, Shess and Marina, and whatever happens with Sagata, if we could get more of the Shura in on things, that could be good too. Especially, we still haven't seen for a while. We haven't seen what's happening with Airi and the, Hura, Clofe, and Cloche trio. We still need to see what's going to happen with that trio and how how all those characters are going to get that information. Plus, we still have Tilda and Lutz, who are over in Eloth, that need to get this information. Claude is potentially dead from dying in the dream, but we'll see. Right now, he's not dead yet, it seems. So we'll have to see how things end up. But with that all aside, that's where I've got to end this week. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my first thoughts and reactions. Subscribe for more Kubera and much, much more on the channel. If you want to help support the channel by sharing around or dropping a super thanks, it's appreciated. If you want to help support the channel by becoming a member or patron, you get your name at the end of videos, One Piece bingo early, and you help support the channel. So just hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you to people who are already members and patrons. Thank you to chosen regulars Evan Holly and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls, Dee Man and Maru, Cheriton Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Paterial. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.